Have you ever noticed your body acting differently and wondered if it might be quietly trying to tell you that something serious is happening? It may sound a little odd, but for many older adults, the body starts sending gentle signals long before anyone realizes the deeper meaning. These signs aren't usually loud or dramatic. In fact, they often appear as small, slow changes that are easy to dismiss as part of normal aging. But ignoring them could be a major mistake. In this video, we're going to explore 5 signs that 99% of seniors tend to show about a year before they pass away. These aren't just random symptoms taken from a medical chart. They come from the real-world experiences of caregivers, hospice nurses, doctors, and loved ones who've paid close attention. While no one sign guarantees anything, recognizing them early could help you take the right steps, find peace, or possibly even improve the situation. You might realize that 1 or 2 of these signs match things you've seen in a family member or friend, or even in yourself. Either way, being aware gives you the ability to act. You can make choices, prepare mentally, and live your remaining time with more purpose and clarity. Stick with us through the end of this video. You might notice a pattern you never picked up on before. And more importantly, you'll learn what it means and how to respond with calmness and understanding. Now, let's get into it. One lesser-known but very common sign that someone may be nearing life's final chapter is becoming more sensitive to temperatures and physical sensations. You might see someone who always feels cold, even in a warm room. Or maybe they begin to complain that a soft blanket now feels scratchy or too heavy. Everyday things like a breeze, a quick splash of water, or even a gentle touch can start to feel strange, irritating, or too intense. At first, this might not seem like a big deal, but there's usually more to it. As the body starts slowing down, blood doesn't move as well, especially to the hands, feet, and other outer areas. The skin gets thinner, fat under the skin disappears, and the body struggles to keep a steady temperature. What once felt fine might now feel either freezing cold or strangely warm. These aren't imagined feelings. They're real physical changes, and they often show up in the year before serious health decline. You might notice the person wearing layers of clothing in mild weather, or avoiding showers because the water feels uncomfortable. Even bed sheets can seem too rough, and they might toss and turn all night just trying to feel okay. This kind of discomfort isn't just annoying, it's a sign the body isn't working like it used to. Take David, a 79-year-old retired firefighter, who loved sitting outside on his porch, even during cold months. Over time, his son noticed he stopped going outside completely. He'd sit indoors with thick socks, gloves, and layers of blankets, and still shiver. "The cold gets into my bones," he'd say, even when the thermostat was set to 75. He also started pulling away from hugs and complaining that fabrics felt rough. Months later, David was diagnosed with advanced heart failure. Looking back, his sensitivity to cold and touch was one of the first signs that his body was preparing to slow down. This change in sensitivity isn't just physical. It often has an emotional side too. As people lose energy, they tend to avoid too much stimulation. They want soft lighting, calm sounds, and fewer distractions. Rooms that once felt cozy can suddenly seem too loud or overwhelming. This retreat from stimulation often matches a larger withdrawal from everyday life. If someone you know is becoming more sensitive to temperature or touch, the best thing you can give is patience. Make the room more comfortable. Dim the lights, use soft, breathable materials, and ask them what helps them feel better. These small changes might bring real comfort during a time when peace means everything. Everyone gets tired now and then, especially after a busy day. But when someone still feels exhausted after sleeping all night, when brushing teeth or doing the laundry feels like a major effort, that could be a deeper warning sign. For many seniors, ongoing tiredness that doesn't go away is one of the strongest early signs that the body is slowing down for good. This isn't just the kind of tired you feel after a long day or from a bad mattress. This is deep fatigue, a kind of exhaustion that sticks with you, no matter how much you rest. You might notice someone taking naps in the middle of the day, then waking up even more tired. Their thinking might feel slow, or they may lose interest in hobbies or conversations. Often, this kind of tiredness is tied to low oxygen in the blood or long-term inflammation, both of which are common near the end of life. As blood flow slows and cells don't get enough oxygen, the body starts to save energy by doing less. It's not just that the person feels tired, their entire system is dialing things down. Let's talk about Brenda, a 74-year-old woman who had always been very active in her church and neighborhood. Over a few months, she started skipping choir practice and asked others to take her place in volunteer roles. She told her friends she was just feeling a little worn out. But the truth was, walking to the mailbox left her winded. No matter how early she went to bed or how healthy she ate, she stayed tired. Doctors later found that her heart wasn't pumping well, and the tiredness was one of the first signs that her body was beginning to slow down. Ongoing fatigue is not something to brush off. It's the body's way of telling the truth. If your energy is disappearing, it could mean your body is asking for support, care, or even just understanding. If you're still with us and finding this helpful, comment number 2 below so I know you're watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and turning on the bell notification so you don't miss future videos. Your support allows us to keep sharing meaningful content. Now let's move on. When someone's voice starts to sound softer, slower, or more shaky, it's easy to think they're just getting older. But in many older adults, especially in their final year, these small voice changes can be quiet signs of deeper changes in the body. The way someone talks, how strong their voice sounds, how clearly they speak, and even how often they join conversations can start to shift as the body begins to save energy for more important things. These changes usually don't happen all at once. They show up little by little. Maybe someone who used to greet you loudly now speaks in a whisper. Maybe they take longer pauses between words or stop finishing their sentences. Some people start repeating themselves or forget what they were saying halfway through. And sometimes they just stop talking much at all. These changes aren't always because of memory problems, though that can play a role. Often it's because the muscles used for talking, the throat, mouth, and chest, are getting tired. Just like the rest of the body, those muscles start to weaken. And when the body is low on energy, talking clearly or loudly feels like too much work. Let's look at Gerald, an 80-year-old retired school principal. He used to have a strong voice that could command a room. But his wife, Karen, noticed his voice getting weaker and raspier. He stopped joining group conversations, and when he did speak, it was short and quiet. "It's just my throat," he'd say. But over time, he talked less and less. Within a year, Gerald's health had dropped a lot. His doctors explained that the voice changes were part of his overall decline, a slow but steady part of the body preparing for rest. If you notice someone's speech changing, don't assume it's just old age. It may be one of the first signs that their body is starting to shift toward a new phase. Speaking gently, listening closely, and offering support can make a big difference. These changes can also appear as a form of speech hesitation. The person may know exactly what they want to say, but struggle to find the words or say them out loud. Their pace slows, and sometimes their speech slurs, especially in the evening when their energy is at its lowest. It's not just about difficulty in communication. It's a sign that the body is trying to conserve its limited strength. One of the more telling, yet often overlooked, signs that a person is entering a new stage in life is a subtle shift in their breathing. We don't think about breathing most of the time. It's automatic, until it's not. Breathing changes are often gentle, quiet, and easy to miss if you're not paying close attention. But if you do notice them, they can tell you more than words ever could. Many older adults begin to show these signs through small but noticeable shifts. Their breathing may become shallow or a little uneven. Some may start to wheeze lightly or gasp here and there, especially at night when the body is at rest. Others may take longer pauses between breaths or sigh more often than usual. At first, these don't seem dangerous, but they're often the body's way of signaling that something deeper is going on with the heart and lungs. As we age, our lungs lose flexibility, and the muscles that support breathing become weaker. When the heart isn't pumping as well, it becomes harder for oxygen to reach all parts of the body. This leads to a series of small adjustments in the way a person breathes. Changes in how deep the breath is, how fast it comes, and how easy it feels. These subtle shifts often become more noticeable during sleep or while sitting quietly. In later stages of life, hospice professionals often recognize a distinct pattern known as chain-Stokes breathing. It's a rhythm where breathing speeds up, then slows down, sometimes stopping briefly before beginning again. It can be jarring to observe, especially for family members. But for the person experiencing it, it's usually not painful or distressing. It's the body's natural response to a deep state of physical fatigue. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a 76-year-old grandmother who had always loved talking on the phone with her family. Her daughter, Lisa, noticed during their calls that Dorothy seemed a little more out of breath than usual. Dorothy would laugh it off, saying she just walked to the kitchen. But as time passed, she began avoiding longer phone calls, saying they tired her out. Months later, the family learned that Dorothy had been quietly struggling with breathing difficulties for some time. No one realized it until her condition became more serious. It's important to mention that not every breathing change is a sign of nearing the end. It could be a sign of asthma, side effects from medications, or sleep apnea. But when these shifts are slow, ongoing, and don't seem to have an obvious cause, they should be taken seriously. They can be the body's way of saying its systems are under pressure. And sometimes, that pressure signals a bigger transition. Breathing isn't just a physical act, it reflects emotion too. Seniors in their final stages often feel anxious or uneasy, even if they don't know why. This can make breathing feel more difficult, leading to chest tightness or a sense of restlessness. The connection between body and mind is strong, and a change in one can quickly affect the other. If someone you care about is starting to breathe differently, even in small ways, take time to notice. Listen not just for sounds like wheezing or sighing, but also the rhythm and effort behind each breath. These quiet patterns can speak louder than words. Don't panic, but do pay attention. Often, these changes are the body's request for gentleness. It may need slower mornings, less physical stress, and more moments of calm. It's a request for patience, not fear. Recognizing this early on can bring not just peace to the person going through it, but also to the people who love them. If you're still with us and finding this video helpful, please comment number 4 below so we know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss future videos. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue making content that matters. Let's keep going. When someone who once took pride in their appearance starts to withdraw from their daily habits, like brushing their hair, changing clothes, or showing interest in meals, it's not just forgetfulness. It's a quiet signal that something has changed. Often, this shift happens gradually. Maybe they skip a shower here, a meal there, but over time, you begin to notice the spark is dimming. And for many older adults, this fading of interest begins to show about a year before the final stage of life. This doesn't mean they no longer care. It often means they no longer have the strength or drive to care in the same way. Simple tasks, getting dressed, preparing food, even brushing teeth, begin to feel like too much. Things that once helped shape the rhythm of their day now feel optional or overwhelming. What was once automatic now feels like a burden. Some describe this shift as a form of surrender. It's not loud or obvious. There are no announcements. It's just a gentle letting go. There's an emotional and physical process behind it. As the body slows down, the mind drifts inward more often. Thoughts turn to reflection, memories, and quiet. Routines that once provided comfort are now seen as tiring or irrelevant. This is not always the same as depression, although the two can look similar. Depression brings sadness, hopelessness, and guilt. But this kind of withdrawal feels more like acceptance. Life's little details no longer seem important. There's no cry for help, just a slow step back from the demands of the day. Take the example of Irene, an 81-year-old who always dressed sharply, even for short walks to the mailbox. But her son, Eric, noticed changes. Irene stopped putting on jewelry. She wore the same robe for days. Her hair remained unbrushed, and her once organized kitchen slowly gathered dust. When Eric asked about it, Irene simply smiled and said, "I just don't feel like all that anymore." Not long after, Irene was diagnosed with a late-stage illness that had been developing silently for over a year. Looking back, those small signs were the first signals that her body was entering a new chapter. When someone starts pulling away from grooming and regular routines, it doesn't always mean something is wrong emotionally. Often, it means their energy is shifting to other things: more rest, more stillness, maybe more time spent in thought or prayer. The clock inside is ticking more slowly now. Time stretches. What once felt urgent no longer does. Sometimes, this withdrawal is a way to preserve what little energy they have left, for meaningful moments, for loved ones, or simply for peace. If you notice this in someone close to you, don't rush them back into their routines. Instead, offer gentle support. Sit with them. Help them with grooming in a loving, respectful way. Encourage a small meal, not out of duty, but as a shared experience. These little moments become less about checking boxes and more about showing care. If you're the one going through these changes, know that you're not being lazy or neglectful. You might just be moving into a new phase, one that calls for less doing and more being. And that's okay. This kind of change is easy to overlook or misjudge. But if you view it with compassion, it reveals something very human. It's not about giving up. It's about slowing down, being present, and letting go in your own time. If anything we've shared today resonated with you, you're not alone. These 5 signs, fatigue, changes in speech, breath shifts, temperature sensitivity, and stepping back from daily habits, aren't just random quirks of aging. They're gentle nudges from the body, quiet messages that life is moving into a different season. And these messages deserve to be heard. Sometimes they're a call to get help. Other times, they offer a chance to connect more deeply with what truly matters: family, rest, reflection, or faith. But one thing is clear: noticing these signs is not about giving up. It's about paying attention. It's about meeting life with grace, not fear. Whether you've seen these signs in yourself or in someone close to you, your awareness is powerful. It opens the door to better choices, deeper conversations, and more peaceful days. Because when we listen to what the body is saying, we can respond, not with panic, but with love, wisdom, and dignity. You don't have to fix everything. You don't need all the answers. Sometimes just being present, just noticing, is enough. And that kind of presence can be the most comforting gift of all. Thank you for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below with one thing you learned and how it touched your life. Your voice matters, and your stories encourage others who may be going through the same thing. If you found this video meaningful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your support helps us keep creating thoughtful content to guide and inspire you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.